Hey guys, you may not be able to see this, but I'm actually in my kitchen sink again because this box of spinners that I was just received from China. See if you can, now there's no label to see right here, but by the yellow striping and stuff, I mean the yellow tape, you can tell that this was a DHL delivery from China in the crappy box. They always send their stuff in very crappy boxes. But this is a box of samples I ordered. I did pay for these myself. And they literally threw in the kitchen sink. That's why I'm doing this in my kitchen sink, because they sent me a little bit of everything. And there is quite a few in here. There's somewhere around, I guess, 10 or maybe 12 spinners. You can see that one through the window there. This is kind of like a little sneak peek to show you what I got. I'll be doing a review eventually on every one of these and showing you how they spin, maybe how long they spin. I'm not sure yet what exactly I'm going to do. But I like all the different, look at all the different cases. Usually they're labeled like this, so you can tell this type of label means, this yellow means it's a brass spinner. If it was red, it'd mean it was a copper spinner. See, here's another one with a clear case to it. That's kind of cool looking. I think that one is stainless steel. Let's see what else I got in the box. What's in the box? What's in the box? I don't know if you've ever seen that movie called Seven. Yeah. What's in the box, man? What's in the box? Oh man, don't open the box, man. Had his girlfriend's head in the box, or his wife or fiance's head in the box. Man, it's kind of rough. Yeah. Here's some of the I guess these are what you call your basic tri spinners. These are the less expensive $15 spinners. I'm not sure what kind of bearings are in these, whether they're the standard 608s or if the bearings are the new R188s that are starting to be produced and put into the plastic ones. I've only got one of the newer ones which has an R188 bearing. They're surprisingly long spinning. So there's another chance you take when you're buying samples from Chinese manufacturers. They sometimes will send you crappy boxes, crappy tins, but I really don't care about the tin a whole lot since it's, oh, look at brass. That's a brass one. Put the lid back on that one. Save it for later. Bit of a teaser. That's what I call it. It's a teaser. Oh, there's another plastic one. Another white plastic one. Yeah, and the rest of these just, they come in unbranded boxes, plain boxes. And that's just the shipping label. I cut it off and put it in the box so that I'd know who sent it to me. A lot of times these guys will not include a shipping packing slip, so I have no idea who sent them to me. And oh yeah, let me show you that one little that one with the R188 bearing real quick. This is one I bought the other day. Basically, it looks like the regular standard spinner with the 608 bearing. If I did grab the right one, I hope I grabbed the right one. Pull the cap off. We'll see real quick. And come on now. They're getting better and better at making these spinners. The caps are fitting better, so they're tougher to get off, but it also means that they're going to stay on and not pop off. Oh, see, this one does have the R188 bearing, and this one looks like it has a bearing guide in it to keep the bearings from falling out or touching each other. So yeah, let me pop it open on the other side and see if I can see the bearing. Nope, can't see the bearing. Well, it's in there. I can actually see it barely. My eyesight's not that great when it comes to bearings this small, but I think it does have a bearing cage in there, or guide, or I'm not sure what you'd call it. Somebody else said it was called a bearing cage, so I'll stick with bearing cage. And it is fairly quiet, fairly smooth spinning. It does make a little bit of noise, just a tiny bit. But it does feel really nice. If you like a smooth spin, almost like spinning in butter, it's the best way I can describe it, you might like this one. There's virtually no feedback unless you wobble it back and forth. If you do this, you'll feel some feedback from the bearings, but holding it steady like that, you don't feel a single thing. It's just a little bit of noise from the bearings. So yeah, let me compare it to a standard 608 bearing real quick for you, and that way. Oh, let me pull the cap back off again. That cap was tough to get off. And this is the closest one I have nearby. But this is your standard 608. This one has a steel shield in it, and the advantage of that one is that this will keep dust and lint from getting into your bearings, as opposed to the shields that, like these rubber ones, these are rubber shields here, and they will actually let a little bit of dust and dirt in there more than the steel shields. But the trade-off is, if you have no shield, you have the best spin times, because it reduces the number, it reduces the amount of resistance to the bearing. So anything inside the bearing housing that could possibly rub up against the bearings will slow it down. So no shield is going to give you your longest spin time, but it's also going to let dirt and dust in there and cause you to have to clean more often. A rubber shield provides some more protection, but there is a small gap around the edges, so tiny particles of dust and lint and stuff will work their way in there, and you'll wind up having to clean it a little bit ever so often. And this steel shield is probably the very best. I haven't had this spinner long enough to find out if I ever need to clean it, but this one is sealed pretty well. So, you know, if you drop it in sand, most likely loose sand is not going to get in there very easily unless you just really work at it, make it hard. So here's your comparison. There's the 608. Here's your R188s. The main difference is the smaller the bearing, the less rolling resistance the bearing has, so it rolls longer, rolls faster, but they're also more expensive. So these tiny bearings are more expensive. I'm really hoping to find one that has a ceramic version of this. I can't imagine how much faster, how much longer a ceramic version would roll, but eventually I'm going to find one. I'm going to keep looking until I find it. Sort of like my unicorn of bearings. So that's all for now. I'll be back later on to finish up doing reviews on each one of these as time allows, and I will talk to you later.